What up, my freaks? RuinusInsight here with part 9 of my Total War Warhammer 3 modded Nakai the Wanderer Old World campaign. So as we saw last time, Nakai faced off against Arbol, though it was less of a duel and just extremely one-sided, as Arbol was able to do absolutely nothing to Nakai, to a hilarious degree. Otherwise, that was Arbol's strength. His faction is destroyed. He has one settlement remaining and we are within range of it this very turn, so he'll be out, though he is not one of our victory objectives. We need to destroy the Poxmakers of Nurgle, which are also now down to one settlement. The Awakened, which are admittedly still far away, and we'll need to send an army down there, and then the Caravan of Blue Roses as well, which we will send an army over to as well. Maybe even we can send the Fire Army this way instead of down here to Manfred. Although there's a lot more territory that Manfred covers, and in fact we've already come up to the borders of his. That's a cool looking location. Mortis Tarn. Man, every time you look somewhere on the old world map, you see some awesome locations. I feel like I spent like half the Drajarath campaign marveling at the Darklands and the basically the entire area surrounding Jarnagren. But anyway, it's a new turn. I ended the turn between the episodes just because I didn't want to edit it out, and we had already moved everybody and built everything, so we're ready to go once again. Nakai, head over to Bone Gulch immediately, please. Like so, and we'll have everybody else follow. I also noticed something annoying but somewhat funny. Okay, Nakai, just deal with this in a second. So usually when your heroes die, when they fail, when they get wounded, they revive basically to the closest sort of settlement that they were at when they died. Unfortunately, we technically don't have settlements, so our tech thief revived at the closest army, and it's now nowhere near to where it can steal again, because while it can move to Sump Pit, so can the army. So all it will do is... Wait, maybe we can steal tech for once. You know what? Also, since you died, let's give you a name. Maybe the reason that you failed that tech thievery was that you couldn't, that you didn't have a name. Nakai's Wanderer. There we go. Let's hope that works out better. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna move you to Sump Pit. All right, let's see if this works. Like so. Not attacking this little army directly. I wonder if there's a full stack here as well. There is... Oh my. Alright, this is gonna be a toughie for this army. That's our weakest army too, but anyway. Break siege briefly and then stop moving. I screwed that up. Yep. Okay, well, it is what it is. You're gonna have to waste the turn then. Stay here, see if they attempt to attack you, and they actually might with 3 armies, since another army is on the approach. We'll see. We'll try to steal tech, though. Alright, you better not fail after all of that. Come on, and success. Okay, yeah, worth it then, worth it, because immediately we saw that it went from 10 turns to 8 turns. Every tech thief is just so incredibly valuable to us, and as soon as Nakai finishes his 3 pyramids, we're going to make sure, his ziggurats, we're going to make sure that he, or all of his other little armies focus on getting... Oh, I should have moved the new Skink Chief in one of these armies. But anyway, focus on getting capacity for Skink Priests. We really, really need it as much as possible. And I think that's it. Now, I guess the question is, do we want to fight this? Well, it's not anything crazy at the same time. I don't know how long it'll be before we encounter Khorne again, and we might want to enjoy this. I don't remember or know where Skarbrand is exactly, and I don't see him nearby. And let's see, is there any Khorne stuff here? I don't see any, and if there's no Khorne stuff, we should probably enjoy a Khorne battle one more time, so we'll actually play that one. Let's see, Tyrannicon. Start moving towards Karagorod. Let's see if Mr. Kugath comes back one last time for one last bout. Although, frankly, he's already defeated him so many times that I think it's a foregone conclusion. And we're going to reward him by buffing up the army a little bit, getting him a Skink Oracle and some other stuff. Oh, I got another Born to Lead one. Another Skink Chief. Oh, we need Skink Chief capacity as well. We need hero capacity so bad, all things considered. Anyway, Cytochrome, you, I believe, have nearly wiped out Queek Headtaker, and we'll move down to kill off Vomik, and then proceed southward to Dringo Karaz. Auto resolve, and we bid farewell to Queeky's faction. Take the money. Alright, well, Later on, once again, we can start spamming Exterminate, but right now it's not useful. Alright, and another Blood Statuette of Spite. We've been getting a lot of these lately. And then you can, I guess... Well, you don't need to channel, so encamp, and then stay in... Well, just go to as close to the enemy as possible. And we're going for Dringo Karaz next. Alright, might as well wipe these guys out since they're on the way, and we're kind of closing the distance with Nakai and the other stacks, but yeah, we'll get there. Anyway, Nakai, let's fight this. I wonder... Well, it's going to take a little bit before we get to the necessary population surplus, so I think we are free to build capacities. Here we go. Skink Oracles and Skink Priests. This is what we want. It is still stupidly expensive, but we need to start prioritizing building these everywhere. And frankly, I did say I wanted another Skink Chief, but one won't do it right now, so we'll hold off on the expenditure. Anyway. The rest of this looks good. And yeah, we'll just fight this. Last corn fight probably for a while. Alrighty, here we go. One last fight from Arbal's faction, though Arbal himself didn't prove to stand too much of a chance. And Nakai is just booking it towards the enemy army by himself as he usually does. He has 73 speed right now with Strider, of course speeding him up, and well, he'll get faster before long as well. Gotta try to remember to get that Tretch defeat trait. Now, for those of you who are going a little bit tired, is this the slow motion hero walk from Lord Croak and where the dino? I didn't do this on purpose, but it's very much amusing me now. Lord Croak and this just giant pile of dinos. It's obviously the heroes plus the one steg, but still quite entertaining to me. And I completely forgot what I was going to say because this amused me greatly. Anyway, yeah, Nakai's gonna head directly towards the enemy army. And, oh yes, for those of you who are growing a little bit tired of seeing the same armies fight, I think, well, maybe not this episode, maybe later this episode. I don't know, I'll think about it. I'm probably going to do a little bit of a time skip shortly at some point. We just got to reach a point in the campaign or in our army positioning where there aren't any significant presences around us, as an enemy army is around us. Then we can do a time skip of, I don't know, like 10 turns or whatever, where I just do those turns off screen just to allow our buildings and our armies to grow. Just the boring part of just like recruitment and repositioning running around where nothing's really happening. And then that'll allow us to get a couple more armies on field. That's the plan. I'll figure out where it's the best time to do it. Anyway, Nakai moved forward, and the enemy decided to attack him with some Chaos Furies. That did not end well for the Chaos Furies, who did absolutely no damage to Nakai and have lost about half their number. He decided to stop and just attack them a little bit just because he could. They're not going to hold him back if he wants to get out, and like so, and go towards the enemy lord. In fact, he's just going to bowl the poor Herald of Khorne over, who is just slowly going to get up while Nakai, well, also bowls over the enemy cultist who lost half of his HP in one hit. I mean, Nakai's hitting for 1.4k at this point in time. He's a scary guy. And the heck? What did he do with his mace there? I don't know, but the enemy cultist doesn't seem to like it. Anyway, otherwise, we're just going to sort of sit there and allow our Kroxigors and our Skinks to do the work here. Not even going to send in Lord Croak and the dinos. I just want these guys to fight in melee for a little bit, see how they do. Nakai should have absolutely no trouble killing off the enemy. Okay, the cultist is already dead, and I guess he's going to give chase to the other cultist or the enemy lord, while the Skinks and the Croxies and do the fighting. It's obviously a minor battle, so using about half our army should be no problem. We don't need to use any spells either. And just good old-fashioned brawling. And Nakai's back. Oh, one of the Croxies got in his way. I'm surprised he didn't send him flying, to be perfectly frank. There we go, and Nakai has found the enemy lord, who has already lost half his HP once again. Just to double check, yeah, Nakai does have magical damage. And I imagine that lord is going to be out of the picture rather shortly, and is in fact melting away with about 10% of his HP. And I think he died. There he goes. Alright, so Nakai will switch to attacking the enemy meatball here, the spawn of Khorne, who stands no more chance than any of the others did, while the Chaos Warriors of Khorne begin to break and run for it. Works for me, just gonna give chase to them with whatever units we can while Nakai defeats the enemy lord. Ooh, it does look like one of our units of Croxies, or Sacred Croxies, has started to take a little bit of damage on the right flank, so we're going to pop the protection of Quetzal on them and allow them to continue fighting. Fortunately, this was the unit of Sacred Croxigors rather than the regular Croxigors that took damage, and the big advantage, or one of the big advantages to the Sacred Croxigors, other than the additional magical damage that they have in presumably armor piercing, but anyway, the advantage is that they have 8 units rather than 16 as compared to the regular Croxigors, because they have the same amount of HP, whether they're sacred or regular, but obviously since they have half as many units as the regular Croxigors, each unit has twice as much HP, and thus it's much more difficult to bring an individual unit down. Anyway, speaking of bringing them down, the Chaos Spawn at Khorne doesn't look like it had a very good time, and Nakai's just posing over the corpse of the Chaos Spawn, putting it out of its misery, I guess, as becoming a drooling monstrosity isn't the best fate. But anyway, a decisive victory, and we bid farewell to Arball's faction. I really gotta double check where Scarbrand is. Alright, there we go. No fancy spells or using big old dinos, just good old-fashioned skink and Croxigor action. I know you like that sort of thing. At level 36, alright, getting pretty up there with Nakai, which is great. Hopefully we'll reach level 40 by the time that we activate the Whispers buff, and then, or the Prophet buff, and then we will be able to transfer some of that XP to our burgeoning new armies. Anyway, we will give this one to, again, it doesn't really matter. Once again, I just want to keep them more or less even. Hey, a Lichbone Pennant, nice find. Another Divining Rod, also a nice find. This time we got a Huan Chi's Blessed Totem, unlike last time where Chotek was watching us. And the 25% charge bonus could be useful, just don't know yet for which particular faction. Just out of curiosity. 34, 33, 36. Alright, so Itzel next. I wish that there was some kind of effect of having more of these. It would be nice just because it bothers me when there's a currency and it does nothing. But anyway, let's see. I mean, I guess we're close enough to these guys that we should probably step in. I did think of going like this and looping back around towards Trutch Craventail. This is kind of the area where I stopped in the Drajuath campaign, so all of these entrenched Clan Rictus are factions that I haven't fought before. Didn't fight up here either. We could go all the way to the border of the Empire with Nakai just for fun. Certainly something to think about, but anyway, for now, let's see, we got buildings to build-ish, or actually do we? We don't actually really have buildings to build, because we want to build a pyramid of the old ones. I did also want to build the Star Chamber, but it doesn't really, well, it does, even the first level gives us, okay, we'll build maybe the first level, because it gives us hero capacity +1 for Skink Priests. And more tech thievery is great. Alrighty, but I do assume that we're still going to proceed this way briefly. There isn't too much in the way of Skaven there, but Nagashazar is nearby, so why not, right? Alrighty, so you're gonna go here. We're going to build a Star Chamber, Sacred Contemplation Chamber. Oh, it is a Star Chamber when you reach the end of the line. Anyway, Skink Priest. Oh, we did get another capacity. Wait, do we have the Skink Priests of Distinction up and running? Yes, we do. Alright, so you... Oh... Maybe I shouldn't have moved you away like this. You can also channel while you're at it. And I guess, can you channel? Yeah, you're gonna need to channel. Alright, both of you channel Nakai. You will eventually need to channel, but for now I'd rather not pay the ludicrous cost of that. Anyway, you... Who wants to summon another Skink Priest? I mean, I guess we could summon one at Nakai. I guess, it'll be a long trip all the way up here. We could summon one at Tyrannicon. He'd be able to steal from Karago Road. Yeah, you know what, let's do that. Let's do Skink Priest, and any one of these good on the field? I imagine not. Oh, lucky, maybe. This one gives us a character experience gain. Yeah, alright, fine. Let's do Instrument of Tech Bok, and then let's go Tech Thief. And I'll switch you to a another name later. Anyway, you will want to immediately go into Specialist and then Steel Tech. Try not to die immediately this time. And we should also build more Skink Priest capacity. Alright, there. Alright, and I am still thinking we remove those basic Skink Skirmishers and possibly the Skink Cohort with Javelins, because once again, this is supposed to be a melee-focused army. And I do want those Titchy Witchies in here. Alright, you know what? Here's what we'll do. We will activate the Oracle buff. I want to see what kind of oracles we're looking at here. That's Slan of Distinction. And, oh, that also gives us plus 5 recruitment rank for Slan. Okay, so in 20 turns when we raise our next Slan, probably a Lure of Life Slan, because we want a Beast Army, a Basti sort of main line. We'll make sure to use that. Anyway. Skink Oracles, what do we have here? When's the magic cost reduction for Earthblood? That's not bad. Frenzy for Troglodons, that's quite interesting as well. When's the magic cost reduction for Harmonic Convergence? I'm gonna say Healer is probably the way to go here. Yeah, but the Frenzy for Troglodons, a Troglodon heavy army. Obviously, we can't afford that right now because Troglodons are 425 each, and we also can't build them because we don't have the building for 5 turns, but it's certainly something we want to do. I like the idea. Alright, I'll start with a healer, though, for this army. And plus, we'll have our first Troglodon in that manner anyway. Once again, I do wish these guys weren't so ludicrously expensive, but it is what it is. They're cool little guys, and they deserve to be on field. Anyway, probably gonna get one of these again shortly. And just want to make sure that we build that pyramid and whatever else we need. Otherwise, I believe we are good to go, unless I'm mistaken, and I don't think I am. So we'll skip, we'll end the turn, and then we'll proceed. Hey, there we go. The Skaven will indeed attack us. 3 stacks versus our weakest army. Decisive defeat, casualties high. These little guys probably have their work cut out for them. And unlike the other times we fought the Skaven with this particular army, we basically got a full stack of slingers to contend with. We also have the Night Runners, but the slingers and basically just the giant pile of range generally will ensure that, well, we can't have an easy time of it with our Fire Leech Bolas. Gotta try to make sure that we knock out at least the enemy Night Runners quickly and Gutter Runners. There, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. And, ooh, they also have a guy with Howling Warp Galley. Yeah, this is going to be a toughie. I love it. Go. Alrighty, here we go again. Skink Skirmishers getting ready to fight about 10,000 enemy Skaven, which should be pretty darn fun, I'd wager. And it seems like a very proper, appropriate, lurefully accurate fight against the Skaven, doesn't it? Being outnumbered, I don't know, 10 to 1 or something along those lines. So we're just gonna have to deal. And between the 3 enemy stacks that are here, I believe they have about 1 full stack of normal units and then 2 full stacks of Skaven slaves. In addition, of course, the normal units are sort of distributed among the different armies and the Skaven slaves, but all told, 1 normal stack and then 2 stacks of Skaven slaves seems like a nice little combination. Anyway, the first enemy army gets hit very, very hard as we rush towards them with all of our flyers, even with our Blessed Chameleon skirmish, or just our skirmishers in general, in order to not allow the enemy's reinforcements to arrive to help them out. Now, this means that the first army should by and large be destroyed, as we gotta whittle down those numbers as best we can. Looks like a unit of Plague Monks has survived the administrations of the various skink blow darts. And we'll be in the melee for a little bit, but we've still got, let's see, we got 84 melee defense on the Blessed King Skirmishers as we've activated Stand Your Ground for the charge of the enemy. Though frankly, even 54 would have probably been sufficient against this little force. Out here, we have a unit of Doom Flayers who have managed to charge towards another one of our unit of skirmishers, or Chameleon Skinks in this particular case, I believe. Oh, actually, a mix of Chameleon Skinks and Skink Skirmishers, but anyway, we popped onto that unit the protection of Quetzal, not so much because I was afraid that the Doom Flayers would do a horrific amount of damage to them. More so because we were going to float our javelin-throwing Pterodon Riders overhead, and we didn't want them to kill off half our own unit. It's not as dangerous as the Fire Leech Bolas, but, you know, it's still plenty dangerous. And there we go. And the Doom Flayers are out, though. Let's see, they did manage to get 19 kills. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna play a lot more with these things next time I play with the Skaven. They're a really fun unit, and I really, really enjoyed combining them with Skullcrackers in my Drazuath campaign, just charging through just thousands upon thousands of units, having the Skullcrackers and the Doomflayers send them all flying and grinding them and slicing them apart with their blades. They're some pretty darn fun machines, both of them. Anyway, looks like the enemy reinforcements are here, and that's a lot of rats, I guess. We got rats for days here, and now we got more Doomflayers on the way as well. I see some Night Runners in there, more artillery pieces, a couple of warlords, a chieftain, or a couple of chieftains, a warlord, a Grey Seer, a warlock master. Gotta watch out for that. Definitely some plague bunks in there as well. And I think I see some sensor bearers as well. Nice. Alright, let's see how our weakest army handles themselves here. Just gotta watch out for the Warlock Master and his Howling Warp Gale. Anyway, time for the Skirmishers and Chameleon Skinks. I'm just gonna continue referring to them all as Skirmishers, because they all are Skirmishers, even if one are called Chameleon Skinks. But anyway, time for them to charge forward a little bit and start annoying the enemy. Gonna pop off another Storm of Shalanka. Only do a little bit of damage to one unit, but not a big deal. I don't like to win sort of the battle with those big spells anyway, so I just like to get them off cooldown, because they look cool, but I don't expect them to do a crazy amount of damage since they're not aimed directly at an immobile blob, as we would prefer. Anyway, we have peeled away our Lord and our Skink Chief on Ancient Basti to go after the enemy Poison Wind Mortars here. Certainly can't have the Poison Wind Mortars obliterating our piles of skirmishers. Otherwise, this is what I call a Lizardmen battlefield. Pterodon riders flying up above, dropping bomb and bola and javelin upon the enemy below. Skink skirmishers blowing their darts all over the place. Probably could have said that in a different way. And the enemy continues to charge forward. The bounce bow remains in the enemy's favor, of course, due to sheer numbers, but we are slowly but surely whittling them down. And every enemy unit that heads towards our main line has to run that gauntlet. Plus, we still have plenty of ammunition. Maybe half of our ammunition on our skirmisher line, and they're backing off. And speaking of backing off, we did have the Razordawn summons helping out as well. I do think that the Razordawn summon is a really useful addition in that it allows certain armies, like the Skink armies, a few extra units. So you don't feel as punished for using weaker units, generally speaking. At the very least, against multiple armies. Ooh, one of our Pterodon riders gets brought down, the Howling Warp Gale, keeping our units in place. But yeah, lots of these skirmisher types of armies, they're better facing off one-on-one against an enemy army, but when you're against 2 stacks, when you're against 3 stacks, you struggle a little bit more. Which does make sense, but yeah, when you're using the weaker units, or the more fragile units, I should say, weak is not quite the right word, as skinks are not to be underestimated. But yeah, then we can just sort of make up the numbers with the summoned Razordons as needed, but don't need to summon them when it's a sort of one-on-one battle. Anyway, balance of power has shifted in our favor at this point. The enemy are still running towards these skink skirmishers, but are still failing to, by and large, reach them. And the Razordons have another thing that they can help out with. They can move into melee, hold back the tides of clan rats and Skaven slaves, and apply bleed to them, and still allow the various units of skirmishers to fire at them. Do these guys have a melee damage reflection at all? I thought they would. I mean, attacking big old spiny thing that's writhing around seems kind of dangerous to me, but anyway. Anyway, the balance power continues shifting in our favor at about 80% now. The enemy Doomflayers being chased down by our Skink Chief and Razordon. I also believe that our Lord here, Shulamar, has defeated the enemy Warlock Master, so we don't have to worry about that Howling Warp Gale anymore. Frankly, we don't have to worry about a lot of things anymore for much longer, as it looks like with that, the enemy army has begun to lose heart. Their morale is dropping, and it looks like the enemy army will shatter, and all the rats will be defeated. We do still probably want to chase down as many of these guys as possible, and are there any unbreakable units? Ah, there is an unbreakable unit. It looks like there's a unit of Plague Monk Sensor Bearers still fighting, fortunately being held back by the summoned Razordons. And they did do a decent bit of damage to them, though, we can clearly see. And Sensor Bearers are pretty damn solid units, so it makes sense. No other unit really needs to be protected at this point, so we're free to waste our protection of Quetzal on the summoned Razordons to once again just keep them here and pin that last enemy unit of Sensor Bearers in place. Run over them, and I believe that's the last of the enemy units. And down he goes. And there we go. With that, the last of the enemies are done. We will continue to give chase to everything we can. Probably will only catch about half of the enemy army, because Skaven are pretty darn quick in terms of scurrying away, but it should be pretty good. Heroic victory, unsurprising considering it's a skirmisher army. Alright, there we go. I guess we didn't waste the turn with this army after all, as the enemy went ahead and attacked us anyway. Now, a decent amount of the enemy did escape, but, I mean, we were outnumbered 10 to 1 in terms of sheer numbers, nearly overwhelmed by bodies here, as the skinks and the flyers alike were starting to run out of ammunition. A couple, fourth stack might have actually forced us to fight in melee, which would have been interesting. Anyway, enemy is destroyed either way. We will, I guess, keep taking the money. It's not much money, but at the same time, it isn't much healing either, so shouldn't be a crazy amount of difference. I do want to see how the damage was. 44k on one of the blessed Pterodon Riders Fire Leech Bolas. We got less damage on the Pterodon Riders with, spears, but they were targeting single entities, and that makes sense. Yeah, look at that, 40k damage, or 39k damage. And on the Blessed Skink Skirmishers, we got 28k, 23k, and 29k. Much more than a lot of the Chameleon Skinks. Got to love that bleed application on the Blessing of Huan Chi there. Lovely. Alrighty, let's see. Ally mission successful. Enemy killed in battle. Lots of enemies killed in battle, as usual. Pterodon Rider for Rash Tulan. Who are you again? And, oh, you're the Skink Priest of Beasts in this army. Yeah, maybe on the flyer. I'll think about it. Pterodon, good for you. Wa fails, and Nakai's Wanderer. Let's try that again with another steel tech, shall we? Failure this time, but hey, at least he didn't die, so it's progress. Though the unfortunate aspect of this is next turn you won't likely be able to do anything. Anyway, might as well finish off this army now that it's been defeated. I assume the others ran away because I don't see them anymore. All right, auto resolve. Oh, this is gonna damage us, isn't it? And yep, they deal the most damage, but for no reason the auto-resolve left most of the army unharmed and decided to kill off a bunch of the skink skirmishers, not distributing the damage. We'll heal up a little bit, it's not much, but I should have just manually fought that since the game was being silly. We do have a garrison at Sumpit, and hey, we got an Aura of Quetzal. That's a decent item. This one we may have to fight manually. Pyrrhic victory. Yeah, I don't think so. But anyway, we'll fight this manually so as to not take damage, and we'll deal with that in a second. Nakai, got other fish to fry. Oh, wait. Okay, actually, don't wait. So, which way do we want to go? Cursed Pit to Nagashazar. I do wonder what is in Nagashazar in Old World. I haven't actually tried to go there, so I am interested in it, and this isn't a terrible time to attempt to do so, though. We're not at war with Clan Carrion. I assume it's Clan Carrion there. The only thing that worries me is this. These guys, if they get intercepted, they'll die. And we could go the long way around, but I kind of don't like that either. I guess Shulamar is coming down here and they could meet up with him. Alright, you know what, Nakai, by yourself, go to Nagashazar. Like here. I want to see what's over there. And this is Clan Rikek, who have 3 territories. Oh, so there is no Clan Carrion here. I assume it's Clan Rikek that is occupying this place. And we aren't at war with them, meaning these guys should be safe. I also, however, don't think that they can quite reach Nakai. And, oh, you know what I should have done? I should have moved them here together with him. Alright, that's fine. We'll move you guys together, like so, and like so. In fact, I probably should have started channeling again, but it's all good. Also, Nakai, before I forget, do we have another Skink Priest available? Yes, we do. Alrighty, let us... Ooh, we like the Enlightened ones. Frankly, we need one of these to be with... Okay, we already have one with Cricket, don't we? Oh, wait, no, we have one with... Huh? What do you have? Okay, you have Recovery. That's probably going to go with... Okay, I'm not entirely sure who it's going to go with, but we want one of those Enlightened ones... everywhere there's a slan, just for the additional power recharge and power reserves per second, allowing the slan to do more damage. Though admittedly the recovery is super nice as well. But nonetheless, we'll start with you, or we'll pop you in here. But not as a tech thief. As tech thieves, let us see. You're a tech thief. You're gonna steal from Karagarud. And, shit, the game, please. The one game where we need that, like, very, very badly. Okay, Tyrannicon, you are going to get rid of those skink skirmishers, because they're kind of in the way of the melee army. We're gonna pop in the skink oracle, because it's a skink army, and it's a Sotek army, and damn well does deserve an oracle. And we're gonna pop Titchy Witchy's raiders as Tyrannicon's personal guard, I think. And we'll maybe leave him on this horned one then. Oh, that activates the cavalry focus? Damn, okay, we got 8 turns in which I'm hoping we can start recruiting some calves so that we can take advantage of it. I mean, yeah, we can keep these skink chiefs on ancient stegodons, and then the skink priest eventually maybe on the engine of the gods, because it feels like we should have an engine of the gods with the Sotek army, but then you can go on the horned one. It does mean the loss of a big old dino, but I feel like he should move with the Titchy Witchy's raiders. And the reason why I'm putting the Titchy Witchy's raiders in this army rather than the eventual Cold One army is that because they're skink riders, or they're skink, well, so I should giggle, but anyway, they're Cold Ones with skink riders, and thus all the benefits from for the skinks, for the Red Crests and everybody else, are also applied to these guys, which they wouldn't be in any other army. And this gives them a bonus like 30 melee defense, and considering they're pretty low on melee defense, I feel like it's certainly warranted. Anyway, you're gonna go to Karagarud. And Pyrrhic Victory. I doubt these guys are gonna sally out, and frankly, it's kind of a minor garrison. Honestly, it doesn't feel like it's worth fighting. I think we'll debut the new guys shortly. Anyway, let's give a standard discipline to them. Auto-resolve. Yeah, a little bit of damage, but it's fine, and I guess Kuget does not return. We'll give this to Itzel, and with that, I believe... There we go! Pox Makers of Nurgle are destroyed, and then Tech Thief, you're gonna have to find some place to move and to steal some tech. Oh, you're going to take 8 million years to reach that. Yeah, you know what? We need to get the Tech Thieves out of the mountains. They take way too long to do anything there. Your Greenskin faction, you know what, let's summon a second Tech Thief in this army. Or by this army, whatever. And we'll do... I don't know, another lucky one. I hope you're lucky, sir. Let's go Specialist, and we'll go Steel Tech. I'm almost tempted to... Let's get you... Wait. Do you have anything that increases your hero action success chance, like other than what we currently have? Cathians do, and I think I checked this before, but I want to double check it just in case. Fleet-footed? No, I don't see anything, unfortunately. Alright, then you can get Block Army. Anyway, we now start these guys at rank 8, and 3 more levels is a fair bit. I'm tempted to delete some of the other ones and then re-recruit them with a higher rank. Certainly something to think about, but anyway, you, I guess, are going to go towards the Burning Face Greenskins. We do want to get towards Khalida, because I did want to ally with her. For now, move this way. Alrighty, and then, yeah, might as well level you. You have, what? You need Epicentrist for the Basties. It's not super critical, but... Frankly, it's kind of terrible, but get it nonetheless. And then we can start making you into a fighter. Lovely. The Skink Chief What do we have here? Marked for service. I guess we'll just keep going through the various skink buffs, which does make sense. And then you. You have Curse of Anarch here. You have Transformation of Kadan. We are missing Pan's Impenetrable Pelt. We do want to start moving towards the various buffs for the skinks, and although it's just a little bit of upkeep reduction and stuff, there isn't any direct buffs or anything crazy. You know, let's at least get Pans and maybe 2 points into it. We can more or less ignore Amber Spear, mostly because I don't particularly like the spell. Skink Oracle, increase mobility, and I also am now realizing that we probably want a Skink Oracle with Nakai as well. Once again, something I learned maybe very recently, just a couple of campaigns ago, or maybe not so recently, maybe a few more, but is that I like to have one of every possible hero. I think it was in the Skulltaker campaign that I like to have one of every possible hero in the main stack, because the main stack tends to fight the most and get the most XP, and then once everybody gets mentor, then the heroes from that particular army can start transferring all that extra XP, so it seems like a good policy. Anyway, welcome to the Oracle, welcome to the Skink Chief. We'll replace the two... I kind of want to keep the 2 chameleon skinks, although we could just transfer them to another squad, and same with you 4. And it's not like we won't be using other skinks with dinos and other armies. Maybe 2 more red crests? I'll think about it. Anyway, let's leave you alone for now. Cytochrome, you are headed down to... Oh! We have another army here. Not much of one, but it does exist. And who are you at war with? Just us? Yeah, sorry, sir. You're, I think you're done for. Is this worth fighting? I mean, there's a bunch of gutter runners, but they'll just get run down by the cav. Let's see what the auto-resolve says. Yeah, I don't think it's worth our time. All good. Wow, even the auto-resolve barely hurt us, which is unusual. Take the money. Alrighty, and we'll do a little bit more building while we wait for Nakai. He only needs, what, 4 more turns? Hey, Clan Moore is destroyed. Beautiful. Shulamar will fight that manually in a second. And... oh, that's going to be annoying. They're probably going to fight this. Okay, fine. I guess we can send Shulamar this way to deal with the Skaven a little bit after he's done with Clan Verms, then. Especially since if Nakai is going back up this way after he's done with Nagashazar, I think that makes sense. Yeah, alright. In the meantime, Cricket and... oh, I kind of don't like how you guys are beside each other. I'm a little bit concerned that these guys might be able to reach and kill Cricket. Well, let's just hope that they can't, because if they can, I will be very sad. For now, build that operational ziggurat. Nakai needs 7 more. It's 2 per turn, though, so yeah. We're getting there. Oh. We stopped building this because we're not in camp stance. Okay, that's unfortunate, but that is what it is. You're fine. We need to be building the capacity buildings everywhere. Altar of Enlightenment is the main important one. And then the others are important as well, but not as important, so yeah. It's actually probably a good thing if we maintain money generation for a few turns, just to build up all of these, in order to have all the capacities for all the heroes that we want, for all the armies that we want. Anyway, skip, and turn. Oh, I forgot to... damn it. Alright, looks like Buck and these guys did move away, and yeah, what I forgot was to destroy this place with... actually, you know what? Just like last time, what we can do is... Cricket, you got a cold one, great for you. You break the siege, and stop... okay, whatever. Nakai the Wanderer, Steel Tech. Oh, for the love of... game, please. Why you do this? Okay. So, there's things that we want to do here. First of all... or, well, maybe not first of all, but something. Cricket. And, can you get are you close enough to these guys to get intercepted? I genuinely don't know. Do you have to be within their movement range? Is that how it works? Because you are within these guys' movement range. It's not worth risking a lord, right? Also don't necessarily want to move Nakai up here, but... okay, you know what? oh yeah, but if he moves, then... I won't be able to attack Nagashazar, though there might not be anything there anyway. How do we do this? Oh, these guys moved away. Okay, wait, that kind of solves the problem. Hey, Emmerich, you're actually being useful. What is this? But he doesn't want to be friends. Somebody, please. Defensive alliances, no. Clan Verms wants peace, but they can, you know, die. Ally missions, Bog, whatever, it doesn't really matter. Frankly, we aren't going to be, or we'll continue not using too many of those anyway. Anyway, Tech Thieves, and you are a new Tech Thief, right? I just forgot to rename you? Yeah, I just forgot to rename you because I'm stupid. Tech Thief. Alright, as soon as these guys go where they need to be and maybe stop failing every 2 turns, then we can get some stuff accomplished. You're gonna go to Blood Peak Stronghold and start annoying this Burning Face Greenskin faction. Alright, and they have 6 settlements. Oh, not too bad. Who are they fighting, incidentally? They are fighting Clan Rickek. That's kind of funny. We were just about to declare war on them. Go figure. I don't want to be helping these guys, but it is what it is. Capacities are fine. Alright, at least in this particular... on this particular lord. Now... you, I presume... okay, wait. Let's first start by manually fighting Sumpit real quick. Obviously, it's just a minor little battle, and we don't have to pay too much attention to it. And then we'll figure out how to move everybody else around. I feel like I jumped the gun a little bit by moving southward to Nagashazar with Nakai, since we can't really move yet with the possible interceptions. And every time I feel like we get more movement range, it feels like the AI also somehow gets more movement range as well. Start deployment, is that a... yeah, it's an artillery piece. Okay, so... let's say... I don't know, pick a direction, basically. We don't know where the enemy anti-air is deployed, but we do know that we can probably kill off that Plague Claw Catapult relatively easily. Where is... okay, it's a Warlord, good. Let's do this, then we will get... who's the flyer? That's you. You're gonna be group 2. You, all of you. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Wait. Yeah. Alright, and then you guys are gonna be group 3. And then we will send you, I don't know, directly at the enemy, doesn't really matter. Oh, is that a unit of Rat Ogres? It is a unit of Rat Ogres. Okay, I kind of don't like that. Slight change of plans. You guys are gonna move this way. You guys are gonna kill off the Rat Ogres. Somebody has to do it. You guys can stay in skirmish mode, and then the blob of other units. You guys can be... okay, actually, you two can be group 4. We're going to charge you at the enemy warlord, and then you can just be group 5 and, you know, provide range support. Alright, start battle. You guys group up so that we can tell you to attack directly. Start battle, go. You guys go kill off the Rat Ogres. You guys move forward. We will summon a unit of the... Beasts of Eitzel, and then you guys... okay, yeah, we'll charge you forward. Where's the enemy anti-air? I haven't spotted. Okay, there they are. Like so. Maybe hit them with a nice Sri Lanka thing. I don't know if it'll actually hit, but it doesn't really matter. Alright, and then you guys move away. Alright, do we want to maybe... oh, I know what we'll do. We can hit them with a nice... nice flock of doom. Alright, you guys are focusing. Good. Alright, and group 4. Where's that warlord? Charge him, please. Alright, you guys... okay. That didn't work out too well, but at least the enemy artillery piece is broken. You guys move over the gutter runners. I'd love to drop bombs on them, but they're gonna just keep running, so it's probably not super viable. Yeah, whatever, just attack them with your bolas. Alrighty, and then you guys do the same thing, but for this one. Alright, anybody fighting, looking okay? Let's Curse of Anarchy these guys to slow them down. Honestly, it's probably unlikely they'll ever actually reach us. Right, oh, would you look at that? Rat Ogres did manage to reach these guys, that's fine. You guys can keep attacking them, and then we'll use the protection of Quetzal to, well, protect you. Of Quetzal, rather. Alright, enemy anti-air is done for, enemy lord is done for. You guys keep fighting, you're just summons, we don't care about you, and then... I'd love to speed it up, but... I don't know if we can trust it. You know, turn off skirmish mode, go this way. You can keep skirmishing, though, and attacking this unit in particular. And the Rat Ogres are done for. The enemy lord is pretty much done for as well, I'd wager. You can maybe drop some bombs on a few enemies. Like so, bomb one, and then... I'm surprised there hasn't been enough of a morale shock for the enemy army to shatter, although I'm willing to bet it'll happen shortly. Alright, enemy lord is done for. And are they gonna shatter? Oh, right, the... okay, you guys go help against the summon. Unbreakable units, the Plague Monks. Alright, there's the summon, and why did you stop? You were home free, you were safe, and then you decided, oh, you know what, I'd rather actually die. Alright, good. And it's just like me at work. Anyway, the enemy army is done for, right? Alright. Speed it up to max. Yeah, I think it's just the unbreakable units that aren't shattered yet. And there's not too many left of those. Lovely. Yeah, this is what I should have done last turn. Alright, pretty minimal damage, probably from the Rat Ogres, mostly from the Rat Ogres. Yeah, if I had paid a little bit more attention to that unit, I had kind of just assumed that the Javelineers would be able to kill the Rat Ogres before they reached us, but I guess they're not accurate enough to do so. Seem to be better at sniping big ol' slow targets like giants and, well, I guess dinos. Arachnaroks, big ol' monsters. I mean, we've also seen them snipe plenty of lords, but it does take them a while to do so, and when you need to kill off a unit before it rushes your line, like the Rat Ogres, it's going to take them a little bit longer. Alright, come on now, there we go, and we will give this to, I don't know, Sri Lanka next, doesn't matter, and another Zen standard of Chotek. We'll have one in every army. I guess this is truly a Chotek bus campaign. Shulamar. I guess if Imric has taken care of those guys, you can start moving down towards these guys instead, and we'll see how they react to you, and we'll just hopefully be able to leave Imric to the, to deal with the rest of that stuff. Have we moved Mr. Cytochrome? We have not. Alright, Cytochrome, I was going to have you attack Dringo Karaz, which is very sparsely defended. So I guess it does mean declaring war on these guys. I'm a little bit concerned that they'll send an army against us. How well defended is Skullcrag? I mean, these guys do have two armies out there, and we can borrow one if push comes to shove. So yeah, let's do it. You are currently at war with the Keepers of the Mountain. You gonna give us, like, $5 for this?
I can tell.
Almost exactly 500. Well, not really, but, you know, close to it. Yeah, sure, we'll do it, I guess. Oh. No, so we were not in a military alliance with the Western Provinces. I was wondering whether I should have just had the Western Provinces join that war, but I'm really close. Casualties medium? I guess this garbage? I mean, I guess this isn't a real army in the sense that it just kind of happened. And, ooh, now that looks fun. We got tons and tons of undead stacks. Ooh, and look at that. We got a maxed out garrison as well. Terrorgeists, Vargeists, yeah. Nakai. I might have you go down there just to fight that because it looks fun. Okay, fine, just auto-resolve. I think you'll be fine. You're damaged, but you'll be fine. And we'll go for Weetzel. Or did I do Weetzel last? Maybe I should have gone Quetzal. Alright, Encamp, and then I guess you're going to Mork's Club, which is somewhat well defended, but probably not well defended for us, for it to actually survive. Move forward. Like so, and what does Fortunate do? Wins a magic cost for a Flock of Doom. Not the upgraded version, though. Which is considered, I guess, sort of like a different spell, so I guess we can just ignore it. We could summon a Tech Thief here, although I kind of don't like the idea of moving through the mountains. I guess maybe able to go for 3, and then, yeah, no, we need to sort of get Tech Thieves up and running where they're far away, or where they're closer, rather, to enemy factions. We need to send an army out somewhere where there's a lot of enemies, where we haven't been, and then do that. Alrighty, okay, we should actually move those guys, though. You're not a Tech Thief, right? You're just, yeah, you're just a hero. You know what, I guess we could just stay here for now. It does mean not leeching with Nakai, but I don't trust these armies, and it's not worth it. Alright, you go here. You go here. You should both be safe from these rats. And we'll jump to follow Nakai afterwards. You, Enlightened, are going to, I guess, join Pyroxy for now. I assume there's no fire one. These guys do have Arcane Vassal, though, which gives them the fireball ability. And then the recovery ability is probably going to go into Cricket's army. Alright. And was that all the Tech Thieves? Yeah, okay, so you guys are stuck, minus potentially needing to build any buildings, but not a big deal. You will want to build a Holy Ziggurat, so let's do it right now. Get ready for the much-needed reductions, because you're going to have Temple Guard very shortly. Nika, you need... okay, 2 more turns. Let's see what's going on in Nagashazar. I wish it would actually let you see what you're attacking before asking whether you want to join. Wow, there's nothing there. Huh, I guess their main stacks are here. Well, I guess, once again, they do have 6 settlements, so they are... out here somewhere. Is this Skaven territory? No. Huh. It said they have 6, right? Am I crazy? No, they have 3. Oh, the other guys have 6. Okay, so these guys should be easy to kill off. And we can meet up out here. I did want to attack those undead after all. Should be fun. Alright, fine. Yeah, I guess you're just gonna auto-resolve Nagashazar. Don't even ask. Declare war. Yes. And obviously auto-resolve this. Because it's a waste of our time, and then we'll give this one to Quetzal. I really wish that these guys got something special out of occupying Nagashazar, as in our vassals. Would be nice if they could still have... Huh, wait, are you able to reach Cursed Pit? Huh, you are, wow, okay. Go immediately to Cursed Pit. 2 for the price of 1, I love it. I forgot what I was gonna say, because I was so enthused at this. Good. And Pyrrhic Victory. Oh, would you look at that? A proper defense. Damn, you know what I should have done? I'm a little bit too late now, but we could have actually moved these guys in tunneling stance down here once we had moved in. Well, actually, no, this guy would have potentially intercepted them. Never mind. Cult of Sigmar encountered. Actually, I'm interested in whether they are friends or enemies with the, with High Queen Khalida. They are... Mahrak, Harbingers of Pain, Clan Claw. Okay, so that doesn't help. Can't tell. Strength rank 33 is pretty good. Aloash's Indulgence. Oh, these guys are really far. Hopefully Zhao Ming doesn't die attempting to fight them. Missile focus? Okay, that doesn't really help us. Alright, I guess Nakai, you actually got yourself a fight. I love it. Let's fight then. Do we have any points that we need to apply? Got the 1 for Nakai. We have been building him to be a crazy strong fighter, and that really hasn't changed. It'd give him more charge bonus, just for hilarity's sake. Maybe missile resistance might be the better option. Huh. Do we actually have points to go through the blue line? To reduce the upkeep of his army? I kind of wanted to put the Shredder of Lustria in his army. Give him a nice, give him another nice pet. He would then need to apply a few more points then, doesn't he? Okay, so he's got... We don't really need the 15 armor from Thick-Skinned. I kind of like the charge bonus, but Nakai's already got 100 charge, and charge is diminishing returns. Speed is good, though. Even 15% speed. So we probably can't say no to that. So this is level 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47... 48, 49, 50. So we wouldn't be able to go through to Renowned and Feared, but if we wanted to sacrifice either Expeditious Endeavor or Protection of the Old Ones... What's your spell resistance at? It's at 85. Oh, it's nearly maxed. I mean, obviously discounting that it might still get damaged. Oh, okay, we have to have Agility of the Lizard because it offers more speed. Yeah, maybe we sacrifice Protection of the Old Ones, grab Agility of the Lizard for the speed, grab Expeditious Endeavor for even more speed, because it's hilarious watching Nakai charge into things. We don't really care about Obedience brings victory. It's good, but we never really have trouble with leadership anyway in Nakai's army. So it's not a big deal. Okay, everybody else probably has 1 point, and I'm just not going to deal with it right now, so let's go for Cursed Pit and actually fight them. We got some elite units. That's a lot of Poison Wind Mortars as well, concerning amount. Rattling guns, a Hell-Pit Abomination. Nakai's gonna enjoy that. Go. Alright, I was about to say no speech from Nakai this time, but apparently that was not the case. Here we go, I'm excited for this particular fight. Another 3 stacks of Skaven. I guess the World's Edge Mountains, the southern World's Edge Mountains, really have a bit of a Skaven problem, don't they? As between... I mean, this episode we've... Counting these guys, we fought, what, like 20,000 Skaven at once? It's pretty solid. Anyway, this army, unlike the last army, is not just piles of Skaven slaves, but tons and tons of elites. We got monsters, rattling guns, poison wind mortars, tons of storm vermin, and hell pit, etc., etc., etc. So we actually have a fight in store. Nakai will charge forward directly towards the enemy Rat Ogre, mutant Rat Ogre, who immediately loses half of his HP to the charge. Nakai is almost reminding me of Imrik in the way that Imrik was killing lords in 2 shots all over the place. Nakai doesn't seem to hit quite as hard, but he does hit very, very hard, and he's not yet maxed out, so I'll be interested to see if he's on Imrik's level later on. Anyway, we have deployed our Vanguard, deployed our entire army on the right flank of the enemy army, such that we can obliterate said right flank without having to worry about the units on the left flank. And by the looks of it, it's going reasonably well so far. And the enemy's right flank is very much in trouble. The Storm Vermin are, of course, holding out a lot longer than the Clan Rats and Skaven Slaves that we're used to fighting normally would. I'm very happy that this particular Skaven army actually leveled itself up, though. As in, it's not just basic stacks. The best thing about the or one of the great things, rather, about the distances from the old world is that the longer you travel, the more turns go by, the more growth is done in enemy armies or enemy territories, and thus other factions are able to actually get some elite units, like this Hell Pit Abomination. Obviously, Nakai has defeated the Mutant Rat Ogre, and the Hell Pit Abomination is also now down to about half its HP. Nakai's still at full HP, and it looks like the Abomination is trying to escape him, which amuses me. Unfortunately for the Abomination, it doesn't have the mass, and the Skink Priest stops it in its tracks and allows Nakai to get one more bonk in. I think that was a punch, actually, and with that punch, the Abomination is out cold. The enemy army is in trouble now. The bounce power at about 80% in our favor, maybe 75% in our favor. We've also chased down the enemy Grey Seer with our Saurus Scarvet, who's kind of the hunter of our army, though generally speaking it is better to keep him with near to the friendly caster because of the various things that he provides. But anyway, looks like, ooh, that's good. This is going to hurt. Let's see, we're at 6,6900 HP. Nice. Okay, and it looks like all those shuriken missed, but we really got to watch out for those. Similar to Skinks, the Night Runners and Gutter Runners with shuriken are not to be underestimated. There we go, that's a nice volley. Alright, well, hopefully the enemy lord goes down before our Saurus Scarvet has taken too much damage. Anyway, the enemy rattling guns have been silenced, by and large, not being able to get off a single shot. Both of the enemy monsters have been defeated by Nakai in person, and now the rats are trapped in these woods with Croxagores and dinos all around. And it looks like the enemy's reinforcements are here. I believe the enemy lord has now been killed off by our Carnosaur riding Saurus Scarvet. And it's just a matter of time until these two entire armies get destroyed. Ooh, some of the Poison Wind Mortars are still firing away. Gotta deal with them as soon as we can. And trying to go for Lord Croak. That's an interesting choice. Probably better off going for the Chameleon Stalkers. There we go. All right, no more firing away at Lord Croak. Thanks, Nakai. Gotta appreciate that. Another really nice thing about the Wayfarer banner that we have on Nakai is the not just the speed and the strider, but also the acceleration that it offers, as Nakai can basically go from 0 to 100 in like a second, which is really nice. Anyway, now everybody else is on cleanup duty now, just chasing off enemies that are by and large routing, though we mostly just need them to shatter, since as soon as they do, that army will be destroyed. Nakai heads directly for the enemy chieftain, looks like only getting a glancing blow on him, but coming right back. That hop, skip, and jump animation that he's got, but also with all the extra speed that he's got, is pretty impressive. And it looks like the chieftain wants no part of this, heading towards the lines of clan rats that have come in as reinforcements, but that is not going to go any better, really, and by the looks of it, the chieftain has one more hit in him until he gets obliterated. I'm gonna try to escape again by the looks of it. Run, little chieftain, run. You can do it. Come on, Nakai, get that final blow. And there he goes. Alright, the chieftain is done for. I do believe there should be at least something else in here. There's a enemy warlord in there, and I guess we'll give chase to the warlord, who I don't imagine stands much more of a chance than the chieftain does. Now, the rest of the enemies are still moving in, and we can allow them to do so, as it's kind of beneficial to us, while Nakai has his fun. And there we go, we found the enemy warlord, who takes about 25% of his HP with that first blow. Oh, does Nakai have perfect vigor? Let's see, fresh, and he does not have perfect vigor. Oh, huh. Or is he just vigorous? But then he's still fresh despite having been running around this entire time. Anyway, the enemy lord is shattered. In fact, it looks like the entire enemy army is shattered, and the battle is ours. Maybe he has vigorous or some kind of other similar trait. I'm now wondering, can Nakai actually get the Seasoned Campaigner buff? You know, you get the Seasoned Campaigner, which gives 10% campaign movement range and perfect vigor to pretty much every lord, but it is based on having fought battles far away from your capital. We don't technically have a capital, so is it impossible for Nakai and his armies to actually get Seasoned Campaigner? I do wonder. Oh, he has Predatory Fighter, which is, let's see, recently fought enemies are routing, and that recovers his vigor, right? You know, they do tend to rout, so that probably will keep him just as vigorous as a perfect vigor would. Anyway, it looks like there's not much left of the enemy army except one unit of Plague Monks, which is obviously unbreakable, and so we still have to fight. Now that the enemy are running, however, we will do what we haven't been doing so far, which is start dropping spells all over the place. Comet of Cassandora, Engine of the Gods, and Chain Lightning, and Lord Croak is very slowly approaching as well. Another possible reason to try to get him additional speed, Lord Croak, I mean, in order to get him moving quicker and able to reposition himself. I fear that the army that we get Lord Croak won't be able to chase enemies, not that it'll be a huge deal. Anyway, we're going to try to do our best to obliterate whatever other enemy or runners remain, because this is the third army and the army that was outside the settlement. Just gotta make sure that we destroy the last of the Plague Monks, but they're drowning in Croxagors and Razordons here. They may have rats for days, but we have lizards, and, well, it's working a lot better for us. Anyway, with that, the enemy army is pretty much destroyed, and the battle is ours. A nice fight, and appropriate for us to be cleansing the world of so many Skaven. Alrighty, there we go. That was a very nice amount of rats, who we by and large mostly killed with good old-fashioned bonking, and not with spells. And then, of course, when the enemies started to run, when they shattered, that's when Teto Echo and Lord Croak started casting, and then bringing down an extra, what, 1,400 or so runners. Nearly 1,500, in fact. So well done to them. Croxy-wise, at 12K, 19K, Ghostbusters can bust rats just as well as they do ghosts, so well done to them. And damn, 32K on one of the units of Chameleon Stalkers. You guys did well. Too bad there's no Blessed variant, because you guys would probably deserve an upgrade after that one. Nakai got 38K damage. He killed lords and heroes and mutant rat ogres and the Hell Pit Abomination, so he had a good time. Anyway, we will give this to Quetzal. And we got a free Charmed Shield out of it, and I assume the guy can't build anything. Ooh, he suffers attrition here? Mountain attrition. Huh. Okay, interesting. It doesn't really matter to us, but ooh, Nagashas are the building. Looks pretty darn cool. Yeah, we still have to go to the gates of Nagashazar, because who knows if there is a full stack there, but I like the fact that we're basically beside Imrik now, and we just need to make sure we keep declaring war on his enemies, because he can essentially be the border to this portion, and if we can get some dragons from him, I think, once again, being reptilian and all, that'll work out nicely for us. Anyway. I believe you don't have to build anything. We do have decent amounts of cash, but you can't recruit. But what we can do is keep building capacities in all the other armies, which is still extremely valuable. Can't do any of those. And the recruitment cost doesn't matter because you'll be traveling with Nakai until he gives you your units. This will give us additional Razordon and Salamander hunting pack capacity, however, so let's prepare for that. We will need additional Skink Chiefs as well as... We'll soon need some Saurus Scarvets. You know what, let's just build both of these structures here. I mean, we'll need every single one of them in every single army. Just gotta make sure we have enough army to... enough money to build a Nakai's Pyramid. What is this? Oh, it's a casualty or punishment rate. That's good too. These are a little bit too expensive. I'd prefer the hero capacity. I think we'll hold off on any of the others right now. And what's our Skink Priest capacity? We still got 2, but I figured 2 is probably not enough to summon another one at this moment. I wonder what's over on this side. That's more Burning Face, eh? I mean, I guess we could send them down here. There will probably be enemies down here. Alright, fine. Let's summon one more Tech Thief. If we end up having too many Tech Thieves, what I'll do is we'll just delete a few. Not a huge deal. And we can actually get through all of our techs pretty darn quickly if we have a decent amount of, you know, Tech Thievery available to us. So it's, it might not necessarily be a bad idea to do that now. I mean, we got a lot of these techs that take 1,000,000 years, but we also got a lot of techs that take only 1 turn as well, so we should be able to get through them reasonably quick. If we could get this up to like 300% research rate, we could probably do the entire tech tree in an episode or 2. Anyway, skip. Outpost available. Which outpost is this again? Oh, it's gonna keep, you know what, it's going to keep talking to us about the outpost available until we actually build one, so let's build one. I don't know, I want it right in the middle of the territory. Let's say Morgheim. I think that's probably a decent place. Not that we'll be borrowing any units from them. I can't find Morgheim. I probably missed out. No, it's right there. Huh, Morgheim is unsafe? Not a lot of recruitable units are there, but it doesn't really matter. This one we do care about, though. What's the likelihood that you lose your capital? I'm gonna assume that it's low, so we'll build it to there. Oh, I guess you have another ally, because we can't build it there. Alright, fine. How about... Alright, fine. Just do Kazak's camp, since it can recruit a bunch of stuff. Go for it. We'll upgrade it anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Alright, and I believe that's good for the end turn. Alright, there we go. Legion of Setup used something. You guys are... Huh, are they just running? Is this what they're doing? They're heading into undead territory as far away from us as possible. And, oh, I was hoping that you could actually reach this, but it looks like no dice. Alright, fine. You'll try to go to Mugrikon afterwards. I'm not entirely sure whether you can, but we'll find out. I wonder what kind of defenses we have here. Probably nothing crazy. At least I assume nothing crazy. Anyway, you, Nakai... How far can you move? Oh, you can move pretty far up here. We will need to move down to Gates of Nagashazar, but frankly, we could probably send Shulamar that way, so it doesn't really matter. Let's move you here. Like so. And then... Huh, actually, that's a question. If you go here, let's see what we're looking at. It's mostly Skaven save, so it's not a concern. Pyrrhic victory casualties high, but it honestly doesn't look like it. I'm not even sure that is worth our time. Let us take a look at what other armies can do right now. Let's move the Tech Thieves first, because, you know, if we don't move them first, then the armies do this stuff, and then they can't steal tech, and then bad things happen. Tech Thieves, other Tech Thieves, you guys are heading southward. Go find Manfred, which we are going to send our other units towards. We have... cricket. Alright, so I assume we'll be able to fight these. So, we will move you guys in close by. You can't build, but it's close to it. Like so and like so. You can't... Wait, can you recruit? Just out of curiosity, you probably... No, not really. You can use global recruitment, but it's a little bit too expensive right now. And we got 2 more turns. Lovely, until the last pyramid. Oh, we got the Skink Forges complete, so we can start recruiting those guys as well. Another Primal Vigor Skink Chief, that should be useful. Oh, right, the Vigorous for Cold One, Pterodon Riders, and Ripperdactyl Riders. That'll be nice for the Ripperdactyl heavy army. Which we should probably get on field reasonably soon as well. Another Instrument of Tepok, which we do want, and then there's that Sky Master, which seems okay but, you know, casualty or punishment rate, which we have such great amounts of, doesn't seem like a huge deal at this point. Anyway, let's build the Sanctuary of the Old Ones here because those need to be constructed everywhere, and then we'll build the Altar of Enlightenment because the skinks need it. What else do we have here? Shulamar, you're probably going to attack. Where's Tyrannicon? So you are in range of Blood Peak's hold. Let's have you strike at it. You guys are currently at war with... Alright, Clan Rikek. Well, they'll be happy for this, even though we're just killing them and their enemies alike. Alright, and this should be auto-resolvable, I take it? What do we have here? Blood Peaks? Yeah, basically nothing. Alright, auto-resolve, and way too much damage. I should be careful about not checking the, not checking what the auto-resolve is doing. We need the war banner in this army. Keep it for now. We'll see. We'll retool the banners in a little bit. I just want to make sure that we get the armies on field first. And... I wonder who this belongs to. Oh, Skaven. Okay. We could try to ignore Burning Face Camp and then go like this. Maybe that's the best way to do it. Although, if we head down here, we're presumably not at war with whatever Skaven these are, so maybe it's better to knock out Burning Face Camp first and then deal with that after. Let's try that. Alrighty, who else still needs to move? Shulamar, you are okay, and Cytochrome, you are in range of Mork's club, but I don't imagine that it is particularly well defended, let's say. Pyrrhic victory, casualties meaning not really worth the fight, but it will be a Pyrrhic victory. You know what? I think with that, folks, I'm going to call this episode here. We got two of these little minor battles that don't really matter, and I think I'll just do them between the episodes real quick. And then next time, I hope to get the new armies up and running, because we're only 2 turns away from Nakai's thing. And I think between the episodes, I'll just end the turn, so we're 1 turn forward, and then we can just... Wait, is this worth fighting? No, it's mostly Skaven saves. And then we can just split off these 2 new armies, the Fire Army and whatever we decide to do with the with Lord Croak's army. Although, oh yeah, and we'll be able to build Temple Guard immediately, so I'm expecting Salamanders and Temple Guard next episode, so we'll do that. You better not take the Barrow of Malice. Hopefully Dimrick doesn't screw us over on this one. That'd be unfortunate, because then we'd have to sort of share territory with him. But anyway, calling it here. Stay tuned for more Nakai. Don't forget to leave those likes and comments below, especially to Threshold, which I forgot to mention this time around. Threshold remains. All glory to the algorithm. And thanks for watching.